for this process, the xylem tissues, the vessels, the tracheids of the root, and because the water is transported from the roots to the stems and the leaf and the other parts, isn't it? So we can say that the root, the stem and the leaves, all those parts are interconnected in some way. Okay. Now this connection, it forms the water conducting channel. Okay, and these water conducting channels, they reach to different parts of the plant. See, channel is sort of like a collecting column. Okay, a column through which the water would rise up and be, distributed to all the parts of the plant. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now see, when the roots take up the ions from the soil actively, see, basically the taking up of anything from the soil, okay, meaning it happens by two ways. It either happens actively or it happens passively. See, whenever anything has to be taken against the concentration gradient, so it has to be done actively. Actively means it requires energy. Understood? And the soil contains water and it also contains the ions. So when the roots, firstly, they take up the ions actively, and this causes a concentration gradient between the root and the soil. How? See, now this root has taken up the ions. It means that ions are more in number in the case of the roots. Whereas if we talk about the soil, it has less number of ions, isn't it? Now, let us compare the water concentration. So if ions are more in the roots, we can say that the water is less. Can we say that?
Yes.
Yes. So when the water is less, it means that the water will move from the soil to the root. So it basically sets up a concentration gradient. Okay. Now, this is one of the ways by which the water can move. Now, apart from this, we know that there is the evaporatory loss of water. Do you know what is the name of the evaporatory loss of water from the surface of the plant? What is this process known as? The water loss of the plant?
Transpiration, right?
Yes, transpiration. So by the process of transpiration, the water is being lost from the plant surface. So if water is being lost, then the roots would be required to, absorb more water.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
yes.
So they'll take from soil, right?
What?
They'll take from soil, right? Like
They'll take one what?
they'll take water from soil, right?
Yes, they'll take it from the soil. As soon as the water is being lost into the atmosphere, it creates a pull. Okay, because now water is being lost. So the water, it requires to be absorbed from the soil. Understood? Now, when this happens, it moves the water upwards from the roots to the leaves. So how is water moved? First of all, ions are absorbed actively, and then the water is absorbed. And also, when the transpiration takes place, it creates a pull so that the water is absorbed from the soil. Understood?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Now see, so we can say that apart from, transpiration, we may think of it as a negative thing, like water is being lost. But again, we have to see the positive side also. So here we see that even though the water is being lost, because of that, more and more water is being absorbed also, because it is creating a pull, isn't it? So we know that the process of transpiration, first of all, it creates a pull so that water can be transported. Apart from that, it also serves the purpose of temperature regulation. Okay, it also regulates the temperature, like how when we sweat, our sweating mechanism is basically so that our body can cool down during the summer days, right? Same way, just imagine transpiration when the water is being lost, it is sort of creating a temperature regulation for the plants. Understood? So what are the two functions of transpiration? The number one is to create a transpirational pull for the water absorption. And number two is to temperature regulation. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Now, during the daytime, when the stomata are open, okay, the transpirational pull, it becomes the major driving force. Like in the daytime, obviously the stomata will be open so that photosynthesis can take place. But when the stomata is open, then water loss can also take place. So whenever water loss takes place, then it creates a transpirational pull. And with that pull, the water comes into the xylem. And then it is distributed to wherever it is needed. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
this is how water is transported in the plants. Now, moving on to the transportation of food and other substances. See, the process of transport of soluble food formed by the photosynthesis is known as translocation. Okay, the process by which we can transport the food formed by photosynthesis is known as translocation. And it is the process of translocation is done with the help of phloem. So phloem transports the food. And apart from the food, the phloem also transports the amino acids. Okay. So what are the two functions of the phloem? First is to transport the food and second is to transport the amino acid. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, obviously, you must remember from the previous class, I told you that you have to tell me or tell the examiner or in your right like answers, you have to tell from where to where, right? From where is the food being transported and to where is it being transported to? So when we're talking about the phloem which transports the food, so it would transport from where the photosynthesis is taking place, mostly the green leaves or the stem, and it would transport to the different parts of the plant body, right? So the food and the amino acid, it is delivered to the storage organs of the root, the fruit, seeds, and the growing organs. So where is it transported? It is transported to the storage organs as well as it is transported to the growing organs. These are the two sites where the food is being delivered. Okay. Now, the translocation of food and other substances, it takes place in the sieve tubes and the companion cells. Do you remember sieve tubes and companion cells?
Yes.
Okay. And this translocation of food, it happens in both upward and downward direction. Whereas if we talk about the transportation of water, it is always upward. Okay. Because the roots are, absorbing it. No other part of the plant can absorb water. So the roots are absorbing it and it is sending to the higher, like different parts. So it is always upward conduction. Whereas in the case of the transportation of food, it is both upward also, downward also. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. And you must know that the process of transportation of food, it requires a lot of energy. And this energy comes from the ATP because ATP is the cellular currency.
Adenosine triphosphate.
Yes, correct. It is adenosine triphosphate and it is sort of like the
Really?
cellular currency.
Yeah.
Okay, the currency of our cell. So the energy
For
comes.
ma'am, for humans, like 1 ATP contains
Contains.
yeah, 1 ATP contains like something around 36 or 37 point something joules energy, right? For humans.
Yes. It contains. See, ATP contains a lot of energy, and when ATP is broken down, the release of a lot of energy takes place. Okay, and that
Yes.
energy is utilized by the animals also and the plants also. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So the process of transport of food, it is energy requiring process because food is obviously a bigger molecule as compared to the water. So that is why it requires more energy. and they may not require any gradient. See, if we have energy, then obviously we do not require any gradient, right? Gradient is only required in the energy, like which the process that does not use energy. But the process that like does use the energy, that would not require any concentration gradient setup. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any doubts up till now?
No.
No, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Now you people can note it down and tell me when you're done. And then we'll move on to the next part.
Ma'am, can you please scroll?
Yes, dear.
Done, ma'am.
Okay. Abdullah, are you also done?
Yes, ma'am. I'm at the second last point. Ma'am, can you scroll down? Ma'am, can you scroll down?
Are you also done? Like both of you are done?
Yes,
Reshma,
Yes.
ma'am.
okay.
Yes.
Ma'am, in next class, can we just start that how do organisms reproduce?
Definitely.
Okay, ma'am.
Abdullah, are you also okay with me starting that chapter?
Yes, ma'am. I was about to say, because like this life processes, we have already finished. We have finished how do organisms reproduce also, and
Yes,
we
ma'am,
have
and
also
heredity also.
we are like at the half of heredity, ma'am. Evolution is omitted for us. We have completed half of heredity also.
Okay, so like in your school, right?
Yes, and control and coordination is also completed, ma'am.
Okay. Okay,
Yes.
nice.
Ma'am, I said because my exams are near, like on
Hmm.
6th, I'm having science exam. So
Okay, okay.
that chapter is coming. That's fine. I just
Yeah,
have a doubt in flower part. Like,
okay. Like what is the doubt?
ma'am, like stigma and pistil, so when how the food reproduce and all.
Okay, meaning you have the doubt in the floral like reproduction, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Okay, like this chapter will probably, end today only. And we'll start the new chapter from next class. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you just go up for 1 minute? Like, yes, yes, yes. Just 1 minute, ma'am.
So for the next chapter, like how do organisms reproduce? Do you people want me to start directly from the sexual reproduction or the whole, like from the beginning?
Ma'am, from the
Beginning.
starting, it's fine.
Yes, ma'am. Beginning.
Ma'am, in exam, half is only coming, not full.
Half part of the chapter is only coming.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, like the sexual reproduction is coming.
Till flower part.
Meaning from start up till the end of flower reproduction.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what about you, Abdullah?
Ma'am, my PDs are already over. We had a full chapter.
Okay, yours is already over. So like you people just want me to only teach you that one topic and not the whole chapter?
Ma'am, whole
No, ma'am,
chapter.
teach the
Whole
whole
chapter.
chapter, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Yes, I got scared for a bit. I was like, okay, only one topic?
No, ma'am. No,
Yes.
ma'am,
No,
whole
ma'am. No,
chapter.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so listen, you can stop writing right now. Okay, let's complete this chapter or else it will be left hanging. Okay, I will provide you the notes.
Okay.
Okay, just listen
Okay,
very
ma'am.
carefully while I'm teaching. Okay. Yes, I'll give you the notes and then you can note it down. Okay, and but you have to promise me that once you get the note, you will like note it down in your notebook and not just leave the notes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Okay. Very good.
Promise.
Oh, very nice. Now I hear the word promise and now I feel happy. All right. Okay. So let's talk about excretion now. We are done with all the life processes and this is the last life process. See, what is excretion? So excretion is the biological process of removal of harmful metabolic waste from the body. Okay. This is a biological process of removal of harmful metabolic waste from the body. Now, unicellular organisms, the organisms that are the most primitive, they do not have any special structure for excretion. So their process is only diffusion. Okay. But when we talk about the multicellular organisms, so here specialized organs are there for the purpose of excretion. So talking more about the excretion, let's talk about the excretion in humans. Okay. So the whole excretory system is there in the case of human beings and it consists of a pair of kidneys, meaning 2 kidneys are there, a pair of ureters, meaning 2 ureters are there, only 1 urinary bladder and 1 urethra. Okay, these are the parts of the excretory system. And let us talk about the location of the kidney. So the kidney is located in the abdomen, either side of the backbone. Okay, it is located in the abdomen area on the either side of the back. Now see, the urine, it is produced in the kidneys, okay, and then it is transported out of the kidneys into the urinary bladder through the ureters. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So the urinary bladder, what is the function? So the urinary bladder, it stores the urine until it gets full. Okay. So the urinary bladder has a function of storage of urine. And finally, when it is, full, then the urine is released through the urethra. So you can call urethra as the opening through where the urine is finally released out of the body. Now, apart from these structures, we will see how the urine is produced. See, urine is produced by basically, the filtration of blood. So whenever the blood is filtered by the kidneys to remove the nitrogenous bases such as urea or uric acid, then urine is produced. So if you remove the urea and the uric acid from the blood, then the final thing that is left is the urine. Okay, that is the waste product. So the filtration units of the kidneys, they are known as nephron. They are sort of like, like how the cell is the unit of life. Same way, nephrons are the units of kidneys. They are the functional unit. Okay. And in each of the kidney, millions of nephrons are present. Okay. Millions of nephrons are present. And each capillary, okay, see what happens? The capillary gets clustered in the kidney. It is associated with a cup-shaped end and it collects the urine. these are the following parts. Here you can see this part is the artery part. Okay, it is sort of like a collection of all the arteries. This cup-shaped structure is known as the Bowman's capsule. You don't have to learn it, but you should know how it looks like. Okay, and then all of these, like the yellow part, the red part, the yellow part are primarily the ducts. Okay, they collect the urine. Understood?
Yes.
Is it clear up till now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Very. Now let us see what is like the different processes that takes place in the urine formation. Now you already know that the filtration takes place when the blood is filtered. Now, apart from filtration, see, step 1 is filtration, then step 2 is reabsorption, and step 3 is secretion. So during the process of reabsorption, some substances in the initial filtrate, see, once the blood has been filtered, the end product is known as the filtrate. Now that filtrate, if it has glucose, amino acids, salts, and water, all of these things are reabsorbed. Okay, they are reabsorbed back into the body, and the amount of water that is reabsorbed, it depends on how much dissolved waste is present. So basically you can say that during the process of reabsorption, the water, the glucose, the amino acids, meaning basically we are like, okay, whatever are the useful things, we take it back. Okay, and then what is left is the waste product, which is the urine. And then the third and the last step of urine formation is secretion. Here, selectively, some, you can say, nitrogenous waste are secreted back into the blood to contain or, maintain the osmolarity, ionic balance. Okay, you do not have to know much in depth about secretion, but these are the 3 following steps of the urine formation. Is it clear?
Yes.
Do you have any doubts up till
Yes,
now?
ma'am. No, ma'am.
Oh,
No, ma'am.
very, very. Now moving forward, the urine is stored in the urinary bladder until it becomes full. And as soon as the bladder becomes full, it expands. And then we have that urge to expel the urine out of our body. And it happens through the urethra. That is your external opening. Okay. Now, this urinary bladder is under the neural control. Like whenever, whenever the bladder gets full, a signal is sent to the brain, and then the brain makes us want to go to finally, urinate. And it is also under muscular regulation. So it is neural control and the bladder is basically muscular in nature. Okay, it is a muscle. So it is controlled by the nervous system, and then we have that urge to urinate. Okay. Now we know that the kidney is so important since it purifies the blood, it filters the blood. Now, for those people, who have failed kidney, then what will happen? A lot of waste will start accumulating in the body. That is why they require this hemodialysis. Okay, their blood is filtered with the help of a machine. Okay, that is known as an artificial kidney. So why does this happen? An artificial kidney is a device to remove the nitrogenous waste from the blood through dialysis. Okay. Artificial kidney contains a number of tubes with a semi-permeable lining. See, it contains many tubes. Now what happens in this particular tank? Dialyzing fluid is there, and it is just like that of the blood. Okay. One fluid is here, which has the composition just like that of the blood. But there is one thing is that this dialyzing fluid does not have nitrogenous waste, whereas the blood has the nitrogenous waste. So now the nitrogenous waste from the blood will move to the concentration where it is low. So in that way, the nitrogenous waste will be moved out of the blood. Okay, and it will finally go into the dialyzing fluid by the process of diffusion. Okay, and then when the blood is purified, it is pumped back into the patient. And this whole mechanism, it is happening because of a machine, but it is replicating a kidney. It is not a long-term solution to kidney failure, but for some time the blood can be filtered and made pure with this. But then the person who has kidney failure, he has to get the kidney transplant. Okay. Now,
Yes.
in the case, okay. Now, in the case of humans, what there is that there is actually 180 liters of filtrate formed daily. Okay. But we know that we do not expel out 180 liters of urine daily. It is, mostly 1 to 1.5 liters. So it means that 99% is reabsorbed, isn't it? So that is your significance of reabsorption, and this is entirely the whole process of how the artificial kidney works. Is it clear?
Yes.
Do you have any doubts in this particular topic?
No.
No.
Okay. Now let us see the last topic, which is the excretion in plants. So see, oxygen, it can be a waste product in the plants. Why? Because the plants do not need it. And during the photosynthesis, the plants take in carbon dioxide and they give out oxygen. So the plants basically don't need it, right? So they can get rid of excess water also by transpiration. The evaporatory water loss, that is also helping in the excess, the getting rid of excess water. Also, the oxygen, it is, expelled out of the plant's body through the photosynthesis. Now, these are the two waste management. And then we see that they can get rid of other waste products by using dead cells, and some plants even shed their leaves. So what happens? Some plants, they accumulate their waste products in the leaves, and finally the leaves shed. So basically in that way the waste product is also shed, and sometimes the waste product is also stored in the dead cells. In that way also they are getting rid of the waste. Now, in many plants, the waste product is stored in the cellular vacuoles. See, vacuoles are there in the case of plants. Those vacuoles, they are responsible for the storage of waste products also. Okay. See, basically here we are seeing that how plant is segregating the waste product from itself. Where is it storing, how and what is happening. So that is why we now know that the plants can store the waste product in the cellular vacuoles. Now,
I'm like lysosome. Is it like lysosome?
Exactly like lysosome. Okay, here the waste products are kept in those vacuoles, and after that, that vacuoles are basically, they digest the waste product and remove it out of the plant body. Now,
Okay.
yes. Now, the waste products may be stored in the leaves as they fall off. So, what happens? Obviously, the leaves of the plants, they have to fall. So, what they do is that they accumulate the waste products in the leaf, and when they fall off, the plants, in order that, they get rid of the waste product also. This is another mechanism. Now, other waste products are stored as resins and gums. They are stored in the old xylem. In huge trees, they, the waste products are stored as resins and gums. So they are not needed by the plant. They are like sort of the waste product. But we use it, isn't it? Gums and resins. Us humans, when we exploit the trees, we cut them and then we use all this stuff. Okay. And apart from all these activities, the plants would also excrete some waste into the soil which is around them. Okay. So by these mechanisms, the plant can actually get rid of the waste. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you people have any doubts up till now?
No, ma'am.
No,
Both
ma'am.
of you? Okay. Very good. So with this, your chapter is completed. Okay, life processes is over. Now you people can note down as much as you can right now. And then from the next class, we'll be starting with a new chapter.
Ma'am, right now, could you please ask some questions?
From this
And will you
chapter,
please send it? Yeah. And will you
Yes,
please send this PDF on WhatsApp so we can note it
yeah,
down?
we can
Now you
do
can
it
ask
in.
the question.
Yeah, that
okay.
will be better.
Okay, all right. Okay, then I'll ask you some questions. Okay, can you tell me, just a second. Let me see. Okay, can you tell me what is the difference between breathing and respiration, first of all?
Ma'am,
Yes, Abdullah, you can answer.
breathing is a biochemical process.
And also exhaling and inhaling.
Yes.
And what about respiration?
Respiration is when we take.
Yeah, actually, ma'am, I wasn't there for this past class when we have done the respiration part.
Ma'am, respiration is when we take the oxygen from our lungs. Like it
Mhm.
goes to the different patterns you can say from like nostril, then trachea, and
See,
then lungs and
listen, listen.
alveoli.
See, breathing is basically the exchange of gases. Okay. Whereas if we are talking about the respiration, then in the case of respiration, the energy is released for our use. Okay. By the breakdown of some resources like food sources. Understood? There is a very big difference between breathing. Breathing is sort of like just the mechanical process, like when we breathe in, breathe out. But respiration is the release of energy. Got it?
Okay.
Okay. Now, can you tell me uh, what are the three processes that takes place during the photosynthesis? One by one. Abdullah, you tell me the first process.
During photosynthesis,
Yes. What is the first process that takes?
ma'am, the release of oxygen.
How is oxygen released first?
Ma'am, it's like a conversion of chemical energy to
See, first,
Oh,
the first
yeah.
gas.
process is absorption of light energy. There is
Light
nothing going to happen if light is not there, right?
carbohydrate to CO2 carbohydrate.
CO2 is carbon dioxide. That,
Yes, ma'am.
yes.
Uh,
And
it's
chlorophyll
in
absorbs the light. Okay. Okay. Tell me the next step. What happens
ma'am,
after light has been absorbed?
ma'am, after light, like CO2 converts into carbohydrates,
Okay.
and then also like one more is
See, basically for the second step, that light energy is converted into chemical energy. Okay. And in the second step, oxygen is released. Now in the third step, carbon dioxide is converted into carbohydrates. Okay.
okay, ma'am.
Yes,
Can you tell me what are those structures called that are, surrounding the stomatal pore?
Uh, guard cell and your chloroplast.
Guard cell was the right answer. Okay. Now, can you tell me how do the guard cells open and close?
ma'am, it depends on the amount of water present in them,
Hmm.
right?
Like
Yes,
when they swell up, so it's open, and when they shrink, it's closed.
very good. Okay. Now, can you tell me, okay, can you name some of the minerals that are taken up from the soil?
Ma'am, nitrogen, potassium, and
Phosphate and,
phosphorus.
and
Hmm.
yeah.
iron, and magnesium. Both of you are
Yeah.
correct. Very good. Okay.
Yeah.
Which of all of these elements is used in the synthesis of proteins? Like
Synthesis of protein.
amongst nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, magnesium, which one of them is used for the synthesis of proteins?
Protein.
Hmm.
Nitrogen.
Yes, correct. Nitrogen is used for the synthesis of proteins. All right. Moving forward. Okay. Can you tell me in what form nitrogen is absorbed by the plants?
Oh, starch, right?
No,
Uh, no.
no, starch is something else, dear. I'm asking you, in what form nitrogen is absorbed?
Solid, ma'am. Solid.
Solid?
Uh,
No, it is absorbed as nitrates or nitrites.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Okay. We
Hmm.
learned this in ninth, I guess.
Yes. And okay, tell me. Okay. Can you tell me some of the name of the parasites?
Ma'am, rhizobium. Rhizopus, something
Rhizobium is
like
a
that.
parasite.
Rhizopus. Um,
I'm asking parasites. Okay, you tell me this thing. Are leeches parasites or not?
yes.
Leech. Okay. Can you tell me one parasitic plant's name?
plant.
Parasitic plant. Name of one parasitic plant.
Oh, yeah. It's like chapter. Wait, is it start with B something? Not sure.
It starts with
Uh,
a C.
C.
Cuscuta. And yes, the common name is Amarbale. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Now, can you tell me what is the name of the finger-like projection of
Willy.
amoeba?
Really?
Amoeba is
Really?
no. Willy is stomach.
The finger-like projection, or sort of like false
Like
feet of amoeba.
ma'am. Wait. Array.
See, you people know it. I know that you know it.
Yes, ma'am. We know.
It starts with a P, but the P is silent.
Negment. I can tell the spelling. I don't know how to pronounce.
Tell me the spelling.
PSC UDO POD again.
It is
Is it?
pseudopodia. Okay, pseudopodia. And yes, you are right.
Oh,
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, pseudopodia. Yes. Okay. Can you tell me one unicellular? You have to tell me the name of the organism. Okay. It is a unicellular organism, and it uses cilia to move the food into its surface.
a paramecium.
Very good.
paramecium.
Yes, paramecium. Okay. Can you tell me the alimentary canal in human beings? It extends from where to where?
Ma'am,
Right from
like from the
mouth.
mouth till ma'am, mouth till the stomach, something.
First, okay, one of you say. Karishma, you answer.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, mouth to stomach.
And Abdullah, what is your answer?
Ma'am, I said same thing. Mouth till stomach. From like, yeah, from there only, from around.
See, both of you are extremely wrong. Alimentary canal extends from the mouth to the anus. If it is going into the stomach, how will it come out? It has to come out somewhere, right?
Okay.
So it, you take the food from the mouth and you expel it through the anus. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. Can you tell me, Okay, the process of digestion of carbohydrate takes place where? It starts where? You tell me, it's where does it start?
Ma'am, it starts, I guess, in the mouth.
I know, ma'am.
Okay,
Salivary.
Abdullah has given the answer. Karishma, you say? Tell me.
Ma'am, thinking. I forgot the name.
Ma'am, I
So
guess
were
it
you saying
starts
something?
from the mouth itself, right? Because like the salivary amylase that is the
Yes, correct.
sugar.
Very correct. It starts in the mouth. See, it is basically digested 30% there. Okay. The rest of the 70% digestion takes place elsewhere, more particularly in the where? Where does the other part of the carbohydrate gets digested?
Just 1 second.
The small intestine.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Can you tell me what are the three things or three enzymes or that are released in the stomach?
Pepsin.
Ma'am,
Uh,
pepsin, and hydrochloric acid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Pepsin, mucus, hydrochloric acid. What is the
Yeah,
function of mucus?
ma'am,
Protect the
mucus,
stomach with the acid.
yeah, it is
Correct, correct.
in a lining of stomach which protects
Correct.
protects
Yes,
the
you're right.
stomach
Yes, you're right. Both of
in
you
a
are
lining
right.
of for
Yes, yes.
action of hydrochloric acid.
बोलो और
मैम बोल दिया.
okay.
बोल दिया मैम, पूरा बोल
Okay.
दिया.
Very good.